You're listening to Nocturnal Frequency Radio, hosted by Steve Jenny and his satanic assistant, Alex Houdini, both of whom can't go into churches without vomiting.
Yeah, that's right. We're without Alex tonight. Where's Alex? I don't know. But anyways, we're without Matt. Where's Matt? And wait a sec. Hold on a sec.
I don't know what's going
Is
on.
this the other Mark?
Hello.
Yeah, I don't know.
Is this the other Mark?
It is, yes.
The mysterious Mark.
That's correct.
How are you, sir?
Very well, yourself.
Oh, well, I'm doing good. Thanks for coming on, man.
You're welcome.
And of course, Claire, how are you?
Mm-hmm. I'm all right, thank you. Thanks for having me.
Well, thank you for coming back on. And of course, Matt, late as usual. But okay, look, and he's got the footage. Unless you have it, Mark. Do you have the footage too?
I have some footage, but not the actual thing that you want to see.
Okay, well, we'll wait for Matt. Actually, I think I still have the link. But anyways, we'll talk a little bit about that. We'll start off with that anyways. I mean, I'm sure Matt will join us pretty soon.
Can't hear you.
So
my husband's just come back from work.
Whose is that food?
What? Oh, one sausage is mine, the rest is yours. Oh, he's asking for food. Where's the food? Where's the food?
Where's the food? Oh, here he is, Mr. Vault himself.
I've been sitting in the background in StreamYard. It was the wrong StreamYard, not the right StreamYard. So I've been sitting there.
Was it the show
Where
earlier
are you,
today?
Matt?
It was from the show earlier, and it was Laura's link she sent me. Yeah.
So how you doing? How you doing, Matt?
Yeah, not too bad. Hello, Claire. Hello, Mark. How are you doing?
All right, how you doing?
Hello.
I wonder what was going wrong. Because I was just sitting there. I was like, oh, he'll just bring me in at the right time. And then it's like, and then he said, "Where's Matt?" And I'm like,
Where are you?
I'm right here. Oh, right, no.
And hello to everybody in chat. There's quite a few people there. You know,
here.
Melissa, Michael, Smith, Two Wheel, Kyle, Tony, and oh my God, there's Ma'am Nan and Mark. Some guy named the Secret Vault. Lucy, how are you? Captain Caveman, Jackie, Tracy.
You're supposed to say Captain Caveman.
Captain Caveman.
That's the one, yeah.
and Dr. Daniel. So, anyways, we were gonna start talking about this footage that you sent me earlier, Matt. Pretty intriguing, man. Pretty intriguing. Like I said, I've watched it over and over again, and like at first I thought, okay, maybe it's just something to do with the camera imaging, just trying to sort of fine tune the darkness. But then I'm watching it again and over. It's not. It's not that. It's something separate from that door. Yeah. And then I'm going, could it possibly be maybe a hand just sort of moving away because somebody's coming maybe. And it's illuminated, but it's dull. It's like a dull illumination. It's not lit like a light or a light shining on it. It just seems very, I don't know, very interesting.
It's not Illuminati. It's dull Illuminati.
Illuminati, yes. So, I mean, what without showing it yet, I mean, what are your thoughts, Matt? And then we're going to ask Mark, obviously, because Mark, you were there, right?
I was there, yeah.
Yeah. We'll sort of get into the scenario.
My thoughts on it. Well, I've looked at it hundreds of times now because I've done a bit of analysis on it, and I cannot work out what that thing is. But it's like as if it's something solid. It's not transparent. Oh, yes, spastics.
Hi, Claire. Sorry, I didn't say hi to you.
Yeah, just shut up the children. Yeah, shut up the autistic children. Yeah. Oh. One of them sent me a Quran today. Sent me a Quran today, so I might ceremoniously burn it on my channel. Yeah, there you go.
Interesting.
So anyway, sorry. Back to the thing. It's a solid something, but it seems to sort of change shape. I did ask Mark where was his camera when he was holding his camera, and he said it was in his left hand. And so his head would have been further out to the right, so you would have had more vantage to look around the door, and his lenses are on this end of the camera as well. So this part of it was slightly more obscured by the door, so he saw more of it. And he said he thought it was like an orb, it was just like a round thing. And then I'm kind of saying, well, from what I can see, it sort of changes shape slightly, so it sort of goes from being round to kind of being a little bit more sort of oval at one point, and it moves away quickly. It sort of jumps to the side.
And of course, when they go back, they go into the room, they enter that room, and you go into that corner to the left, and there's nothing there.
There's nothing there, nothing behind the door.
Was there like a hole? Like it seemed like there was a hole in the wall.
Yeah, there was a hole in the wall.
Yeah. Okay, Mark, you were there. Tell us about it.
Basically,
a bit about the place and the location and stuff.
Well, I won't say where the location
is. No. Okay,
I said to Mark that I would protect the site because we don't want people vandalizing it.
Okay, absolutely.
It's a mansion house, and I believe it's probably about 150 years old. And obviously it's been derelict for a fair amount of time, and we think that some developers are going there to restore the place and put it back into circulation. But so we turned up and we started I did a protection spa. I don't know what Mark did at that time. So Mark started his live stream. I was filming on my Boblov, which is a body camera. Matt knows what those are. And we eventually did a kind of a look around the whole site, and then we started in the kitchen and then slowly made our way around and then got upstairs. Mark was in front of me. Haley was behind me. That's Mark's other person that's with him. And Mark was moving down past the ladder where we think where the servant quarters is, which is right up in the attic. And then he moved down, and you can see it on the video. And he went through like past a couple of doors, and then he went close to the door where you've seen this basically spirit, I guess. And he panned it around, and it just disappeared. And then we went in, and I kind of scooted past him because he was live, of course. And there was a feeling. I said it on camera. You can hear it on the live stream and on my video as well. I sensed a feeling that we was being watched.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah, hearing that in the video. Yeah.
So
was there any other readings or anything that any audio or anything that you might have captured in and around that period as well?
Well, I was actually recording when Mark was live, and I was just basically about 1 meter beside him, sort of thing.
Okay.
I didn't actually capture anything that I'm aware of, but I'm sure if somebody researches the video, you might come across something. But so Haley rewound it back live, and we've seen this. I assumed it was like a white shadow, like a sheet, and it just slowly disappeared. And it's paranormal. It's 100% paranormal. So there you go.
Now, when you say 100% paranormal, what do you mean?
It's a spirit.
Okay.
A ghost.
All right. Okay. So Matt, do you have it? Do you have it?
I can bring it up. Yeah. And somebody made a very good point as well, Mark, that if you want to tell them what happened with the radio as well, that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because that's kind of freaky, and I never included that in this ghost clip.
That's
we can bring it up.
Yeah, that's on my channel. I've got all of that. So I was filming with my phone and with the Boblov. So I had 2 cameras rolling, plus Mark was live as well. So Haley was sat in the stairs. Mark did it. I did it. And then Haley was a bit, didn't want to do it, but she did do it. And at the end or beginning of her session, the radio was making like a piano sound and like a whistling. And the radio was actually turned off. It's a Spiritbox radio. It's a Roberts radio. Mark uses them quite a bit.
Okay.
And they're really good for communicating with the spirit. Yeah,
Good.
the Roberts radio. Yeah, I've got it downstairs, so I can't get it
It
right now.
depends what one. There's a few different ones. I think yours might be different to mine, but mine's a. Yeah, I've got two. But
so the radio went off.
Radios.
They are very good, yeah. So the radio went off, and it was all these weird sounds coming through. We just couldn't get it. Mark was absolutely gobsmacked with it all because the radio was actually turned off, and it was making all these weird sounds.
Oh, it was turned off.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay, that's even more. Okay.
And it wasn't just a little sort of squeaky noise. It was like a da 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 da, and it was like a sort of strange, loud noise.
Very weird.
Very loud.
Yeah, Mark said on camera as well that he's never heard that before, never experienced that before. He's been using that radio for a number of years, and that's never happened before.
I was going to say it's never happened before, but yeah, that's cool. And I mean, we have to understand, even though it's turned off, it's still an electrical item. I mean, it's still something that they can harness, regardless.
Yes. Yeah.
So, Claire, I haven't asked you. Have you seen the footage?
I've seen so much footage. I don't know what one you're on about because I watch so much.
I did send it to you, but you haven't had a chance to watch it. You'll see it in a second.
Yeah.
You'll see it in a second, so we'll bring it up. But yeah.
Okay, cool.
As I say, I use a lot of radios, so that's what I've got an ear for.
Let me line it up then.
Okay.
And we'll see if we can get something
that's
going.
interesting. The fact that the radio wasn't on. So, okay, here we go.
Now,
the following is an analysis of a ghost sighting, which was filmed by YouTuber Ghost Adventures of Cornwall.
Skip this on if necessary.
Return to the most haunted abandoned mansion. It's important to note that the footage was streamed live from inside the location, which means as it was filmed live and broadcast live to YouTube, there were no edits, so no special effects could have been added as this was a live stream. People watched for the entire period and everyone was accounted for within the building. And as you will see, there was nowhere that anyone could have been in the room in question, as there were no exit points from the room and there was nowhere to hide for any person behind the door.
And I think it's about 30 minutes in if you want to watch Mark's live stream. So this is me skipping through the fact this is a complete live stream, right? So 30 minutes have gone by. You've not seen anyone else in the house. They've been doing various things, and then you get to this point. So,
and you're using a filtered light, a red light.
Yeah, Mark had a headlight on, and
I feel like someone's behind you.
Yeah, I don't want to stop pushing you again.
Mark, I feel that we're being watched
Yeah, I do as well.
by spirit.
Where, from behind or in front?
I felt somebody over there, just looking at us. Didn't see anything, but felt it.
and if you haven't seen it, it's there.
I just seen something in there.
Yeah.
See,
I don't know what that was.
It's funny when I first saw this, I'm like, what am I looking at? I can't see it.
Yeah.
I don't know if I've got that on camera. It was like a light in the red light.
Oh,
What?
I've seen it. It's a solid figure.
We'll
Watch.
go into it.
Oh shit! We caught half an apparatus. I can't even speak.
It's like it's gone through the walls, mate.
Oh, did you go through that wall?
Yeah. Oh, wow. Oh. Sorry, I'm going to step in front.
Whoa! Hey, thanks for showing yourself. Partly.
Thank you.
And that's you, Mark.
That is
just across the
crazy.
camera.
Yeah.
Okay.
White, isn't it?
Yeah, and we're on red light. Which is weird. That a white light.
Oh, I can't catch it. How do I slow it down?
So just in case you didn't spot what it was, we'll go into more detail now. So it's there just behind the door and it pops off. It's very brief.
And it's so quick, yeah.
Watch now, just above the door handle there.
Oh.
Now, at the time, I said to Mark, I thought it might have been a woman, a spirit woman in a nightgown.
Oh, God.
And then we do some cleanups and zoom in so you can see it again. So there's the zoom. And as it pops off, there's the zoom and pops off.
You could put a soundtrack to this, eh? Him going, oh, whoa, whoa.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh. Oh.
Crazy.
Oh.
And you see, it's just.
Oh. Oh.
So quiet. Nothing. No additional sound or anything. It's just so.
You feel like someone's behind you?
Yeah, I don't want to stop pushing you again.
Mark, I feel that we're being watched.
Yeah, I do as well.
Skip it on. Does it
From behind or in front?
We'll have to skip it on a bit. Come on. Oh, here we go. I do some stabilizations as well. There it is.
Oh. 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 Oh.
Crazy.
Then I stabilize it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just so you can see it without all the motion in there. This is with the original color.
Oh. 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 Oh.
It's almost like as if it accelerates away, like as if it knows it's been seen and it sort of jumps quickly out of the way. You know, it's almost
Exactly.
Yeah.
And this is backwards and forwards now, so you can see it just back and forward looping. Yeah. Everyone's gone quiet in the channel, so they must be quite enthralled.
I'm trying to work out what it is.
Mm.
I'm trying to work out, is it a spirit hand? Or is it a child because of the height? Or is it something just about going to stick its head round? Or I don't know.
Now, Matt, are you able? Do you have a program that can run it through full spectrum?
I don't know whether or not you're going to get much out of it because it was all red. Everything was red, and that's interesting because it obviously wasn't emitting its own light. Because if it had been emitting its own light, it would have been white.
Mm-hmm.
It would have been white, probably. I say white, but whatever it is picking up the red light and bouncing that red light back, which is from Mark.
So we were doing a Spiritbox session, and some children came up. So it's a strong chance that
it looks like a child's head.
Yeah, that's what
a child. Well, yeah, that even
that's what it looks like.
Wow,
yeah.
Because it's the height of the handle, so a child, I would say, easily 4-year-old, very young, older than 3, because a 3-year-old would be about that high. 4-year-old, you're looking at 4-year-old.
Yeah, Mark was saying that through the Spiritbox there was like a 9-year-old children there, 2 boys.
Mm-hmm.
And also that night it was quite rough outside. There's a lot of noise outside going on.
A lot of exterior noise.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'd like to go there.
what kind of noise are we talking about?
A dockyard noise. I don't want to say too much.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
You can probably imagine.
Gotcha. And was this the first time you guys have ever been in this place?
Mark and Haley have been there twice. This is my first time going to that location.
And they have never experienced anything like this before. Nothing.
They did experience some weird things, but nothing like this. This was this is unique.
Yeah, it is pretty unique. It's baffling because I mean, a lot of things you can kind of okay, explain it, and then it's this, it's some sort of lighting or something shining or a lens flare or whatever. There's all sorts of things that you can throw in there, but none of them make sense with this. It's it's pretty unique, that's for sure. It's
so
quite
we had a break about halfway through, and I left my Boblov downstairs recording, and Mark's got a Mel meter. I know you'll know what that is, and it went off as I was leaving. It went beep, and then on the video that I've got, you can hear like knocks, and there's like footprints, and then there's like a rustling sound.
Okay.
So,
but
I'm just looking for where that radio thing is. Where the radio went off? Is that in that footage where it's called extra footage from Haunted Mansion, or?
I'll just try and find it a minute. Sorry about that.
No, that's okay. That's okay. It's
Yeah.
intriguing, and I mean, if you
Yeah, I've got more than one video on it. So
oh, okay.
on the whole site.
You're talking about what happened earlier, right?
This was after. This was after.
That. Okay, after. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, is it called the Haunted Mansion Locked Off Cam 2? Is that the one?
I'm just checking that.
Okay.
I've got so much on it. It's crazy.
The Haunted Mansion Paranormal Investigation Full. Might be.
Okay, so it's the Haunted Mansion Paranormal Investigation, just that.
Okay.
And it's only.
Is it called the Haunted Mansion Paranormal Investigation Full video?
Wait a minute. No, that's the one that I did it. I did that experiment. Yeah, I got too many bloody videos on it, and I. Sorry.
That's okay.
Okay, so the one you want to see is called Ghostbox Session at the Haunted Mansion. That's the one.
Right. Ghostbox Session at the Haunted Mansion. I've seen it, but I didn't know where it was. Yeah, here we go.
Yeah, it's not very long. It's only six minutes. It's only 6 minutes long.
Kylie's asking the history of the location. Don't want to give too much away of the look. Is there any anything that you
told me?
Say nothing. That's fine. Yeah.
I don't really want to say too much because I don't want to upset Mark and Haley, but this is their baby.
That's understandable, and I completely agree with that. I agree with that. I've had too many incidents where I've shared information with certain people about a location and paid for it later. So it's totally
I don't mind telling people off camera, of course.
Yeah.
I don't mind that.
Yeah. Done a lot of that.
Absolutely. Yeah. Even sometimes off camera, you kind of wonder, oh, holy shit, did I tell the right person? I mean, I remember we were working with
There's
local...
a bit of swearing in that, by the way. Sorry.
That's okay. Swearing, we love swearing. It doesn't matter.
Okay, cool.
Don't have any worries with that. We were working.
Swear all the time. I got a problem.
Yeah, we were talking. We're working with a small town on the history of a small pioneer cemetery, and we were. I had a guy who was asking me for information about this the location of it, and I didn't say anything. I said, "Look, I don't trust this guy. I know this guy's gonna, do the wrong thing when he finds out the location." He found it on his own, unfortunately, and spread it out there on social media and the net on his website. And next thing you know, the cemetery was desecrated.
Oh no!
It was used for ceremonies. It was people were going up there dumping coffee all over the tombstones. All sorts of shit. Like I get it with the whole, dumping. It is, and it's simply because they can't read the tombstone, so we'll dump, coffee on it. Come on, but yeah, it was really too bad. We ended up going up there and repairing what we could ourselves, but thankfully, a loyalist group stepped forward and actually fit the bill and had the place completely restored. So it's always nice to hear that and see that.
Yeah.
Because it was in shambles. I mean, you didn't know they actually brought in ground penetrating radar to find where some of the graves were.
Yeah, a lot of archaeologists use that, don't they?
Yeah.
Geophys. Yeah,
exactly, and they had to, because I mean, this place had been left abandoned for years. I think it wasn't. I think the last use was probably in the early 1900s.
Crikey.
So, and weather and just pure abandonment. It laid by the wayside, weathering and God knows what else. So, but interesting location. Play, Steve, play the above. Okay, hold on a sec here. I gotta go over to.
I've kind of found Mark's one, but I think there was another. It might have been on Mark's camera, but you can hear it a little bit clearer. So I'm just looking for the other one as well.
Yeah, I think Mark might have done a version of that as well.
Okay, here we go. I've got it. Okay, hold on a sec. Let me just load it up here.
When you're blindfolded, put your hand up when you're ready, okay?
Yeah,
Turn it on.
what the fuck is that noise?
Do you hear like a whistling there?
I just heard a whistle.
What's it doing?
Yeah,
Oh yeah, I got it. I found it quite clearly.
It's
Yeah.
playing something.
we heard you.
What's going on?
That is
fuck is
so
that?
weird.
What's it doing? What's going
What's
on?
that?
That's like a kid
What?
coming through, isn't it?
It's not even on.
That was like a child coming there through.
It's not even on, guys.
Not turned on.
Yeah, I told you there's something.
Whoa!
The bulbs are all going
What
off.
the
Fucking
hell
radio
was
was
that?
going. It wasn't even on.
Yeah, very weird.
Oh my god! And someone's making me look up there.
Do you know what that sounded like?
Can you listen back on your camera a minute?
Do you know
What that was?
Do you know what that sounded like? That sounded like a Victorian piano.
I don't know. I thought that was a child.
There was a child's voice on there.
The bloody thing's not even on. Hayley,
What?
when you're ready, when you're blindfolded, put your hand up when you're ready, okay?
That's
Sorry,
crazy.
guys.
That's crazy. Do we want to hear that one more time?
You can do. I've also, I think I've got the Mark. I don't know if it's the same one, but I've got a version of it, which is from Mark's live, the whole thing, because one is from Kernow's perspective, and one is from the live stream camera. Oh, hang on, I'm still on there. How do I remove it?
Oh, here I'll
Remove. There we are.
There you go. All right, here we go.
So let me just get the timing for it. Is 1 hour 57 minutes. So this is after the experience they'd had with the thing. So you can, right. Let's just. They're walking up outside the building. Let me bring it to 1:57. So
It's not Scott's idea.
Hayley's just about.
Tick is going. She's started already.
She's just about to start doing something with the
Think of Cornwall.
box. And it's actually about a minute.
There you go. Jasmine
after
said,
this.
"Do it for Bad Cat." There you go.
Should we just?
That's it.
There you go.
Not for you, Scott.
Not for you, Scott. She said.
50 seconds. Shall I fast forward
Do it for the
or-
apple, the baby apple.
All right, I'm doing it for the apple.
Yes, I think it happened straight away.
I just put it in
Pretty
sleep
much.
mode.
You can hear it very
no one up
clearly
there.
on this recording.
No one up
The
there.
headphones keep coming off.
And
Press them down tight. That's it. Hayley,
What?
when you're ready, when you're blindfolded, put your hand up when you're ready, okay?
Yeah, I'm just.
Turn it on.
What the fuck is that
Do you
noise?
hear like a whistling there?
I just heard a whistle.
What's it doing?
Yeah,
heard that.
it just went. We
Oh,
heard.
it's playing something.
We heard you.
What's going on?
What the fuck is that? What?
What's it doing? What's going
What's
on?
that?
That's like a kid
What?
coming through, wasn't it?
It's not even on.
That was like a child coming out through.
It's not even on, guys.
Holy fuck.
See, I told you there's something.
Whoa!
The balls are all going off.
Fucking radio was going. It wasn't even on.
As well.
Bloody video.
Oh my god! And someone's making me look up there.
Do you know what that sounded like?
Can you listen back on your camera a minute?
Do you know
What that was?
Do you know what that sounded like? That sounded like a Victorian piano.
I don't know. I thought that was a child.
There was a child's voice on there.
The bloody thing's not even on.
That is fucking weird. I've got it all on bloody video.
Hold on, we need to listen.
Can you hear it again?
Yeah.
Hang on. Oh, no, let's get it up to here now.
Turn it on.
What the fuck is that
Did you
noise?
hear like a whistling there?
I just heard a whistle.
What's it doing?
Yeah,
I heard that.
it just went. We
Oh,
heard.
it's playing something.
We heard you.
What's going on?
What the fuck is that? What?
What's it doing? What's going
What's
on?
that?
That's like a kid
What?
coming through, wasn't it?
It's not even on.
That was like a child coming out through.
It's not even on, guys.
Holy fuck.
See, I told you there's something.
Whoa!
The balls are all going off.
Fucking radio was going. It wasn't even on.
I've got it all on bloody video.
Oh my god! And someone's making me look up there.
Do you know what that sounded like?
Can you listen back on your camera a minute?
Do you know
What that was?
Do you know what that
There we go. So that was very bizarre. Do you know what it sounded like to me? It sounded like when you have a piano, and instead of playing the notes, you actually open the piano up and you've got the strings there, and you you pluck a what do you call them? A plectrum. You're like going across the notes.
Yeah,
or
yeah.
a guitar. It's like you're going across the notes of a thing. Quite bizarre. And it sort of was up high and then it went down low. It was almost like something was playing with notes with a plectrum.
I've got to add some in there. We went to an old farm on the moors of Cornwall, and it's completely abandoned. There's stuff in it that's dated probably 100 years old, and there's an old piano in there. And as we were leaving, it was making that particular sound just like that. Now, Chris and David will know exactly what we're talking about because they were there at the same time. I've told Mark and Hayley to go there, so I'm hoping they will go there very soon. So, but it's just a coincidence. Now, after that happened, it's on the video there, Mark was pushed and he freaked out. You could see it in his face. So he shut the doors behind him, and Hayley was freaking because she thought that Mark was going to piss off and leave us there, sort of thing, but he didn't. Pardon my language, sorry.
Yeah, Two Wheel was asking electromagnetic energy. Yeah, absolutely. I think would play a huge part in that. You know, that transfer and again, where is it coming from? Right. So,
what do you think of that, Claire? You haven't said much on that.
Yeah.
That sound coming through a switched off radio.
Oh, I'm just listening. I've not ever heard that before. It's quite weird, really weird. I've just read what Melissa wrote about a rewinding tape. Old-fashioned tape rewinding.
Or
it does sound like that too.
Or speeding it up. Just fast forward.
You know, when you press the button, you used to hold it down.
Yeah.
That's true. I've not analysed that audio actually. I've only done the video, but I mean, I could try and clean up the audio as well. Yeah. It's weird, very strange.
Play it backwards.
There's definitely active in there. Definitely children in that place.
Was there, Mark? Did you have any
other?
other? Did you have any like temperature readings or?
I didn't have any
EMF or anything going on.
I had a K2 and I had some cat balls, and they did go off.
They did go off. Okay.
Yeah. And of course, when we left for our refreshment break, I left that Boblov recording, and there was like noises in the whole property. So I'm convinced that property is haunted without a shadow of a doubt, and I'm convinced that we will go back.
Well, it'd be interesting to see or hear about what if you do get anything when you do go back. That's interesting. That's really interesting. That anomaly alone.
I wouldn't mind going to that place, sticking up a few cameras in different rooms and just leaving them. like Steve did that once, and maybe we try that trick you did with your ball, sticking a ball on
Well,
something.
yeah. If a trigger item, yeah, it's you know, you never know, and just have a camera trained on it. And I normally will put something faint like a chalked circle, anything that will like be disturbed easily. When something moves over it, across it, or whatever. I find trigger items work quite often. And when they do, it's just like, wow, okay. Oh, we lost Claire there.
Oh,
It's I don't know. Do you guys use trigger items much, Mark?
We have done, yeah. We use cat balls, and we
Cat
try
balls,
and
okay.
get a camera on them, so you get an overall view of the whole area. We haven't really had a great deal with that, to be honest, but I think we're going to do that a bit more, to be fair.
It's funny because I remember buying, I think it's 1953 Etch-a-Sketch off of eBay. It was like $6. And I remember when that arrived, I brought it to an old abandoned farmhouse and did some work there in the farmhouse. And I left it in the room. I shook it up, made sure there was nothing on it. And when I went back, you had some scribbling on it.
Wow.
Which was kind of unique. And there was nobody else in the house. There's, myself and another person, and that was it. And this was just during the day. It wasn't even at night. So, I mean, I could tell you all the fun stuff that's happened at night in that place, but yeah, that place that you guys have there, that's pretty interesting.
Yeah, I don't know whether like children's toys. I mean, I had that night I had my trousers pulled down. Was like I was throwing a tennis ball or something up the corridor. I was going, you want to play? Do you? Like, here we go. Like, I throw a ball, throw it back to me, and then my trousers got pulled down. So it's like that. That's kind of maybe like a trigger type thing. Have you had any experience with using like food or drink, like leaving things, like kind of like that? Does that
like
work
an
at all?
offering, like an offering?
Yeah. Does that work at all? Have you ever tried it?
We've tried it, but sparsely. Just given the situation of whatever location you go into, if it warrants it, yeah. Anything is, worth
having bad problems. I've had it. It's very weird, actually, and it's freaking me out because since Lowell's come back.
You're
breaking
quite a lot.
Yeah, you're breaking up.
I'm going to go downstairs and connect on my iPad, I think.
Okay.
Because breaking up is so hard to do, Claire.
So, Mark, how long have you been doing this? How long have you been investigating?
Probably about a couple of years now, on and off. We've been to quite a few locations with Mark and Hayley, such as the Gunpowder Works at Kennel Vale, Tahiti Woods. We went to Alistair Crowley's cottage with Matt.
I was watching that. That one's pretty interesting. I was watching that video he's got loaded up there. I was quickly going over a few of them, but yeah, I watched that one. I find that interesting. And you were there, Matt.
Yeah, we went down.
Crowley.
We were meant to sleep there all night long to see if we had weird dreams, and then him and Mark didn't want to stay all night. They were like, "Oh no, come all the way down to I've come all the way down to sleep, and that's why I had my sleeping bag with me."
So let me guess, that place has been well picked over, right? I mean, come on, it's a well-known location, and I'm sure there's been crap loads of people going in there and just exploring it and and investigating it for whatever paranormal sort of aspects they might be able to find. But why the paranormal, Mark? I mean, what how come all of a sudden you decided to start doing this?
My gran was a white witch.
Oh, okay.
And, my mum is psychic as well, and it's just gone down through the family. Basically, I've always been interested in it.
Yeah.
but we do other things beside that, of course.
Yeah. What's your favorite aspect of it? I mean, what are you intrigued by when you go and investigate these locations?
It's the unknown. It's
The
like
unknown.
this place where I went with Mark and Haley. I didn't know anything about it a couple of days before, sort of thing. And it's just the unknown, and it's talking or communicating with spirit, and we know that they do exist, without a doubt. So it's just amazing. I find it fascinating.
What was I going to say now? I just started to read what Graham had wrote there. I got up. It's pretty interesting. But yeah, some night vision properties. And that's what I mean by it's illuminated, but it's not illuminated by, a light. And perhaps maybe it is illuminated by the IR.
There was no IR there.
So that wasn't an infrared at all. There was no infrared cat. So that was a regular cat. Okay. So then, yeah, definitely then.
Yeah, me and Mark was using red light.
Red light.
Oh.
Yeah.
I can show you the exact one right here.
Okay.
And this is, I mean, on that night, just out of interest, were you using a red light yourself at that time?
Yeah.
Mark?
Yeah.
You were? Yeah. Okay. The only other thing that I, did wonder about, but I don't think it kind of was somebody else could have reflected a light. But I mean, if it was a white light, then it would have shown up as white light,
Exactly.
But if you were both using red lights, then, I mean, you could have, was it a reflection of something,
I think even with the red light, Matt, I don't even think even that the dullness of the red light even was causing that sort of.
Yeah, it was anomaly. A very sharp area thing, and light sources tend to sort of smooth off, and this thing was sharper than that.
And like you pointed out, it seems to morph, if you will, and sort of shape itself, and as it moves as quickly as it does. Because I mean, like I said, when I mentioned when you shot me over the link and here, have a look at this, and I'm watching this, and the very first, okay, what am I looking at? I don't see it, and then all of a sudden, the door. Oh, okay, it's like, oh wow,
yeah.
That Mark's in chat right now, actually. Mark's over there in chat. Hey, Mark, how are you? Yeah.
Oh, that I was thinking East. Yeah. No, you mean that? Well, if you are available and you want to come up, let me just send him the link, because I know he couldn't really. He said he couldn't really come on, but he might have changed.
I mean, if he's more than welcome to join us. Absolutely,
I'll just send it to him.
We'd love to hear his perspective on this, because that, like I said, he's seemingly pretty excited when you guys capture that, man. It was and rightfully so, because I mean that's pretty cool.
It's very cool.
All of it together, though. I mean, I think the fact he was pushed that night, you had the radio producing that really weird audio when the radio was off.
Yeah.
And then that event, which is like 3 things in one place in one night. That's pretty crazy.
It is. Yeah. So just to let you know, like I said, I was just a meter behind Mark, and there's no way that my light could shine through that hole in the wall to produce that light. There's just no way.
No, exactly.
No, I was kind of thinking, like, could it have possibly been somebody, but if you were that close and you wouldn't have been in line with that, then that wouldn't explain it.
And you're talking about that hole in the wall, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I did think about it.
No,
I didn't think about it. Yeah. But generally, when you shine a light through a hole from a distance, it tends to produce a diffuse light.
And you don't see any of that. You don't see any additional light circling it, or from behind it or whatever. Yeah, you don't see any of that.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's it's fascinating, man. I mean, I've seen subtle things, anomalies like that before, but not quite like that. That's intriguing. It's almost like foreshadowing of something, or not so much foreshadowing, but I don't want to say residual, because it wasn't residual. It was something. Can you say intelligent? Can you say it was intelligent? It's hard to tell with the movement.
Yeah, I think it is intelligent because it's moving back to say, "You've seen me, now bugger off."
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's interesting.
It's funny because in some ways it's just an impression I get. It's not to say like that's what it was doing, but I almost feel like it was something that didn't want to be seen. It was like getting out of the way so it couldn't be seen, but it was caught. It was not quite good enough. It was not quite, it was like something that was trying to hide, because if it's capable of being observed like that, well, why didn't it just come right out in front of them? The fact that it's kind of like as he comes around the corner, it's trying to get out of the way, it's trying to hide.
Yeah, that was really, really cool, man. I just I'm trying to equate it to something, excuse me, that I've witnessed in my time. And I like I said, there's been a couple times that we've captured stuff on visual that are kind of like that, where it's not illuminated by light, and it's sort of like a dull sort of anomaly. It's illuminated, but it's not by an outside source, but by itself. But the morphing bit is interesting. The shape shifting is interesting.
We did say about that. This is one of the things you do when you're live, is you go, hey, remember this and remember that and remember that. But the thing is, we told you about something that Steve has filmed, which I think you should bring up, because you can't just say these things and not show them, can you? Really, is that ball? I think that's amazing, because Steve put an object into a room and then they left the room and they were off doing other things, and when he reviewed the footage, it's moving by itself.
All right,
in the room.
I'll play that.
We can't not show it, really. When you tell people, because there's going to be new people who've never seen this show before, and
I kind of clean it up a little bit. But okay,
that's okay, because you haven't moved it though, have you?
No, I have not moved it.
Done anything to move it. No.
It's okay.
You were mentioning about the Crowley house, which Mark. This is the thing. Mark, and we did together. And whilst he's lining it up, there's a little radio show that's been done on that.
Let me just hold on a second.
Crowley's house, as it's called. I think it's called Eagle Cottage is its actual name, if I'm not mistaken. Isn't that right, Mark?
The Eagle's Nest.
The Eagle's Nest, yeah. And there we go. So that's it. It's actually in the shot now. We're looking at it. So that white object up above,
right here, right here.
It is an inflatable, like a beach ball.
No, it's like a heavy. Let me just rewind. It's like a heavy rubber ball.
Right.
And
like a boat's buoy.
Yes, similar to that. And literally, we propped this up on a quarter, and I chalked around the quarter, like around the ball. So if it stepped off the quarter, it would, disturb the chalk line. Never did. We didn't think it moved at all, because when you went to go back and check on it, it wasn't moving. It hadn't moved at all. So when we got back and reviewed all the footage and noticed, oh, wait a sec, it moved. It's moving.
Yeah. And in order to know it's moving, I think you have to speed it up, don't you, to kind of see it move over time?
Yeah, this is the short version. Let me just see. I don't want to. There you go. Okay, so I time lapsed it, and here you go. Here it starts moving now.
That's crazy.
Mm. And Mark, just to give you a sort of synopsis of
Wow,
this.
that's moving a lot.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That is moving an awful lot.
Yeah.
It's rolling around, rolling back and forth.
Mark, I don't know if you're familiar with Waverly Hills Sanitarium in Louisville, Kentucky.
I'm not. No.
Okay, it's an old tuberculosis hospital. This place is like
Wow,
800,000 square feet. This place is massive.
Okay.
And so, anyways, one of the lures, if you will, behind this place is that there's a child that perished along with the 60,000 reported people who have perished in that place over the years.
Oh, dear.
But there's a boy named Timmy that they say. I have yet to find actual footage of that, evidence of that, but whatever. And he will play with a toy, or most likely a ball.
So this is a trigger object.
So we were hold on a sec. We weren't in the room. We were in a room just off to the other side of this, doing an EVP session. And we'll bring Claire's back. Welcome back, Claire.
Sorry. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
I'm having problems with my internet. I had to disconnect and go onto another internet. But if it goes again, I'll just let you get on with it, because it's. I've just had to unplug the internet, and my son's gone mental because I switched it off to read the code, and it booted him off his games, and he's going mental.
My son will go mad too.
Kylie's asking, what are we watching? Again, this was a trigger item during an investigation of Waverly Hills Sanitarium. This was like back in 2007, I guess. And we sat the ball up on a quarter and had a chalk circle around it, and left it, and had, like you've seen, one of the security cameras trained on it. And I hold on, just reading. Another object. What object? Graham's saying
the reflection on the left-hand side.
Were they filming too close for the shadow of the door? No, there was no door. The door was actually quite far away from there. But anyways, so there's no light. There's nobody in the place, and you're looking. This place was like a friggin' oven. It was 109 Fahrenheit. It was an oven. It was killer. I just remember climbing up 5 flights of stairs with all the equipment. And it's just like, wow, I don't know if I'm going to make it. It was brutal. But yeah, so we kept checking on the ball, and it didn't look like it was moving at all. It's like, okay, we didn't get anything, nothing at all. And we got back and reviewed the 9 hours per camera, and finally found this. And just like, wow, this is just incredible. And went with the timestamp on it, with some audio that we captured in the room next to this while this was going on. And we're like, okay, this is weird. I'll play it again. I'll play it one more time, because people are like, oh, what is it? Let me just rewind. And
he's put a rubber ball on top of a quarter,
yeah.
And then he's put the camera on it, and they've left the room, and it's a slow motion over time, but like when you time lapse it, you can see this thing has moved back and forth, in the room. So what put it back on the quarter? What was able to move it around? And when they came back, it was still on the quarter.
Yeah.
and you can see the movement, but it's slow. It's not.
So
it's not like this is not real time, like as if it's rolling back and forth real time. But as you speed up the footage, you can see it has moved in the room.
So the light that is reflecting off the ball is actually the RI light. The IR light from the security camera. So there's no light in there.
Yeah.
So there you
It
go.
looks like, when I look at it, it looks like you just see something little around it pushing it, like a little figure.
Yeah, there is a shadow up the top of it there.
Is that just like a reflection of the curve of the ball?
Yeah, that's just the
or
that's just a
weird.
curve of the ball.
Does it actually have like a painted part because it's rolling up and rolling back?
No, this is like a purple heavy rubber ball.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's weird.
Right? And
because it's like you're seeing the edge of it, like as if my hand is paint or coloring or reflection. You're seeing that rolling up as well, rolling up
funny.
and down.
I'm just noticing that now, Matt. Yeah, no, it's funny.
Yeah,
I guess because cleaning it up and you can see the ball better.
Mm.
Wow.
Yeah, it's like a coloration or reflection is rolling up and around it with it, so you can actually see it's rolling.
So, yeah. So, anyways, Mark, and I'll play. Let me load it up here. I'll play what we captured on audio in and around the same time this was happening.
Mm-hmm.
And let's find them. And this was captured from two different recorders. Let me just go ahead, Matt.
But by the way, look in the chat. Mark Ghost Adventures of Cornwall. His channel is Ghost Adventures of Cornwall on YouTube, and the video is on there of his live stream. So the whole live stream is there under his live section, and you can also look at Kernow EXP, which is Kernow Explores, that's short for, and you can have a look on his channel for his perspective because he's filming on his camera. Mark's filming on his camera, so there are multiple cameras, So, yeah. Anyway, I just thought I'd share that if people want to go and have a look.
And I've also put his link in the description as well, the show description. So, okay. So, anyways, this is what I captured what we captured on the first recorder, Mark. It's quite different from the second recorder. In the first recorder here, what you're going to hear, excuse me, you're going to hear, somebody asking a question. Then you're going to hear a response. And then you're going to hear a lady talking in the back. But in between the guy talking and the girl talking, you're going to hear what sounds like maybe a single response, but then there's a little bit of something in the background, like after it, that is, you can't really make it out. But in the second recording, you kind of can't make out the first part of it, where in the second part of it, you can make out a lot clearer. But anyways, here you go. Here you go.
Did you bring that tennis ball to us? Could anybody please make a noise? Did you bring that tennis ball to us? Could anybody please make a noise?
So
like a male voice.
Yeah. So you can hear the pronouns or whatever else clear in the first part of it, and then it's sort of muffled in after that. So this is the record, same recording from the second recorder.
Did you bring that tennis ball to us? Could any? Did you bring that tennis ball to us? Could any? Did you bring that tennis ball to us?
Now, do you want me to tell you what I think?
I think it says "Mind your hat."
Mind your hat. What, in the first recording?
The second recording.
Now, when you listen to it, okay, we'll play it again.
Did you bring that tennis ball to us?
And you kind of can get that mind your hat, but if you listen, I don't want to like contaminate your thought. I don't want to force it in there, and I'll play it one more time, and maybe it'll kind of make sense.
Did you bring that tennis ball to us?
Mind your hand.
Bring that.
Getting close.
Dinkum says he thinks it's saying the one you like.
Exactly. Dinkum got it. Dinkum got it. That okay. So I'll play it again. Now
by the way.
Then you're gonna hear it.
Tennis ball to us. Did you bring that tennis ball to us?
On the first one, you can't make that out, but you can hear it's almost like the child or the kid or whatever saying, there isn't one.
Did you bring that tennis ball to us?
But you can't really hear the one you like.
Did you bring that tennis ball to us?
Right?
Without doubt, yeah.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Child.
Maybe in the dimension where they're not seeing the ball that you're seeing, because you do sometimes get kind of like the ghosts are seeing what's around them where they are, not you so much, you know. Sometimes ghosts can see you.
Oh,
I know. I've got a problem.
I thought Claire fell over then. It was the iPad. I thought she'd fallen off her chair. I thought she'd literally
That's what I thought. That's what I thought.
I thought you fell off your chair. That's classic. That was. I thought you fell off.
No.
Jesus.
I've got a problem with my laptop. Every time I put the charger in, it starts buffering, Matt, and just taking me offline. I don't know why. And it's only got like so much % on it. I'll have to probably swap to my iPad in a minute.
That's weird.
Every time I plug it in, it
Earthquake.
starts buffering.
Tinko says earthquake.
Dear.
I don't get it.
But back to the sort of the sounds. I mean, you know, two devices caught it, but none of you heard it there in real life, was it? It was
No,
it just came out on the recording, but two recorders recorded it, even though none of you heard it when you were there, which is weird. That's dual EVP being recorded by two separate devices that was not heard by the ears. He's going to go, yes, Matt. He's thinking.
It's quite entertained, Graham.
His cogs are turning, folks. He's okay. He'll be back with us in a minute. He'll be back with us. Yeah.
What, Mark?
No, you.
What? Sorry, go ahead. No. I was just reading what reading what Graham was saying.
It's like little sort of arrow going round on the screen. He will be back. He's on port. Yeah. No, there was none of those sounds where the voice was speaking were heard by you there and then.
No, they were
two recording devices placed in different parts of the room recorded the same thing at the same time.
Absolutely.
But you didn't hear anything.
Didn't hear anything. I just wanted to answer Graham. Yeah, no, absolutely. Everything is in full discussion for sure, Graham. Absolutely. It's what we can't explain. Exactly. We can only theorize about a lot of this. I fully agree. And I'm the first one to accept all sorts of scrutiny. I mean, you have to. We're not experts. I'm not an expert. I will never claim to be an expert. I'm constantly learning. I've been doing this for 30 odd years, and I'll tell you, I'm still learning. You know, and I probably will until I stop doing this.
But I think that
go on.
No, I was going to say, the more you do it, though, the more you kind of get finely tuned into spotting these things and knowing what to do. So you are very well versed in this. One doesn't like to call oneself an expert, but I mean, you've been doing it long enough to know A, it's real, and B, the triggers, the things that can trigger things. So I'd say you're pretty, you're doing pretty well,
Graham, why wasn't a shadow of the door cast onto the anomaly? Because there was no lights in there. There's absolutely no lights in that facility, in that room, right? There's no electricity. So whatever light, what I'm saying is that what you see there was simply what the infrared was picking up. That camera was picking up was all infrared. There was absolutely no light. So that's why there was no shadow casting.
Sorry, I've had to change cameras because it was playing up bad.
Okay.
Don't know why I couldn't charge it. Every time I charged it, it buffered. So God knows.
Yeah.
Okay. But I'm back, but not on the best camera, on the crap camera.
So can I just add on my investigations and
absolutely
Bailey's, and I'm sure Claire would agree. When you're there, normally in person, you don't see or hear anything at all.
No, you don't.
It's only when you watch your video back that we've seen stuff on our videos,
Yeah,
don't hear it.
That's absolutely. That's a huge thing, and I mean that doesn't say that there isn't times when you're going to witness something real time. Maybe sound, maybe something visual, but yeah, for the most part, yeah.
This is what we've seen recently at this old mansion. That was just amazing.
Excuse me, just showing some stuff out.
For something to show itself physically, like Mark saw it out of the corner of his eyes, peripheral vision, and then he turned his head, but his camera was already kind of pointing that way, but he saw it out of the corner of his eye, looked, and then saw it moving away. So that was he saw a physical thing. For the radio to be playing the most bizarre sound, which I suppose
weird.
You could almost call it like a music box, but somebody playing with it, like a plectrum, like sort of playing with it.
It remind me of what Melissa said when you used to put your rewind, the old tape recorders,
and press rewind. Yeah.
Okay. Graham, are you referring to the rolling ball, or are you referring to what Mark and all that captured there? Because the rolling ball, there was no outside light. There was no light in that room. The only light was coming from the IR camera, from the security cam.
And even that it's quite dark, even though it's got IR on it. It's not like the most illuminated imagery in the world. It's kind of, if it wasn't for the fact it was reflecting, you probably wouldn't have even noticed moving back and forth. There was like a little spot of reflected light back from your infrared light onto the ball, bouncing back. So it was that little hot spot you had on the ball, and it was kind of moving around. Very lucky to have caught that, really.
Yeah, and he was not. Wait a sec. Not the rolling ball, the thing that moved back that looked like a figure, Steve. Okay, so I guess he's talking about your footage, Mark, the footage that you guys captured. So that's okay. I thought he was talking about the ball.
Okay, yeah, it's not actually infrared light. That red is
2O lights.
Both of these guys like to use a red light, so you see red with your actual light. It's lighting the whole room up red. And the reason for this is because Mark has found that this red light, when he uses it, tends to kind of work with the spirits a bit more. So he's got a light which is capable of doing white, but it can do all colors, and he switches it into red mode. And then he uses that red light to kind of saturate the room. Yeah.
There you go, folks. That's one. That's the actual one.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
And some people like red lights for hunting because they say that it doesn't affect your night vision so much, you know, like you're physical with your eyes. Because when you shine a white light around the place, then you turn the white light off, you have like an image burn. And when you use a red light, you can walk around and still see a lot better at night. You know, it kind of doesn't burn your image, the images into your eyes so badly, and you retain your what they call night vision, pseudo night vision. But yeah.
Well, yeah, I prefer to use red in low light situations. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, because I mean, let's face it. When you got some of these flashlights now are just like overpowering.
Yeah,
and they'll literally, oh, hey, where's so and so, and then they flash a light at you, and you're like, go blind, you know, from the beam. Like some of these things are high powered now.
Yeah, mine's extremely high powered, which is why when I turn towards people in the scene, I point at the floor and then I go back up again, because it's like to shine that across people, it actually really does hurt their eyes and it damages their ability to see in the dark. So the moment you've taken the light away, they're actually temporarily blinded and can end up, you know, tripping over. And so you tend to sort of like, you do this with your light, you go like down underneath the people, back up on the other side. You have to, because it's too bright, you know. Yeah.
There's a question for you, Matt.
It's a regular red light, but why didn't the light, whatever, cast a shadow onto the anomaly? Depends.
Explain the lack of shadow. See, that's the odd thing about it. That's what we've been saying, Graham.
I'm going to have a look at it again now. I mean,
yeah,
there's no editing. You know, I know what you're saying, but there's no editing in this. This whole thing is shot with a camera in one hand and a light in the other.
Load it up. Load it up again, Matt. We'll play it again.
You know, there are shadows of people where somebody is standing with a red light behind Mark, and you see Mark's shadow down the corridor and things like that. But it depends where people are standing and things like that. I'll load it back up again for you, but we'll have a little look and see what we can see. I personally have bad color vision, and this red light is the worst part of my spectrum of light that I see. So to me, this footage looks very bizarre because it's, you know, I don't see red well. So for me to turn it into the more black and white version is better for me, because I can see it a lot better. But yeah, let's have a look.
Can you cast a shadow on a ghost? See, that's...
Who knows if it's physical?
You can't answer
maybe
that, because we just don't know what ghosts are, to be honest.
Yeah.
I always find the word ghost archaic, and it's overused, and I just think we need to. I don't know. Okay, here we go.
Okay, yeah. I'll forward it on
everyone...
a bit so we get on to where it is. Let's have a look. So. You could see shadows there, you know, like in that fast-forwarded clip.
You feel like someone's behind you.
So you can see shadows moving, but
yeah, I do as well.
There's that hole in the wall there. Look.
So there's a shadow.
I felt somebody over there. Looking at us.
But that's obviously somebody has to be behind him to cast that shadow, and you can see his shadows on the wall, you know. So this is the room in question. So on the left now, and.
Oh, I just seen something in there.
Yeah, but I mean,
I don't know what that was.
To be fair,
wait a sec, Matt.
You can see the light bouncing off the door there, you know. So but you're not seeing a shadow of the door, probably because, you know, you're not far enough to the right. His light is over here in his right hand. His camera is in the left. So if you imagine his light is further over to the right, the shadow would be cast beyond the door further than you can see, because he's over here. Had he had his camera in his right hand and the light in the left, you would have seen a shadow, because his camera is seeing round the corner more. But because his camera is in the left hand and his light is in the right, or on his head, either or, it's not really casting the shadows. But look in the room. There is a shadow on the light that's hanging down from the ceiling. So it is casting a shadow. And look where the shadow is. In line with the light, the shadow is off to the left.
Yeah.
So that's why it's not casting. Potentially, it's not casting. So, you know, if the light had been in his left hand and the camera in the right, you may have seen a shadow, and also that shadow on the light would have been off to the right.
Now, Matt, back up in a minute. Back it up a little bit and see what.
Back it up, baby.
Yeah.
Okay. Right. Sorry.
The light bouncing off the door and casting on the wall on the opposite side. Now watch the wall on the opposite side as the light goes into the room.
Yeah. That's
now. Can you see when the object appears, if it appears in the shadow on the opposite wall?
Oh, I just seen something in there.
Yeah. Do you know what I think that is? This is the frame of the doorway, because he's got the light in his right hand.
Oh, yeah, okay.
As he comes across it, you're actually casting light left ways then from that right-hand side. But because his camera's casting light straight across from right to left, but you're getting a shadow of the doorway. I think that's him in the door. That's the shadow of the doorway. I see what you mean, but like you've got a hot spot up here, but it's casting light there because it's sorry, you can't see my cursor. I'm trying to show you with the cursor, but you can't see it. So yeah, it's on the right hand side, this light, and it seems to be up high because you're getting a hot spot up high. So I think the light is a torch on his head, but it's to the right. Anyway, I'll press play. So
I just seen something in there. I don't know what that was. It was solid and it moved to the left. I don't know if I've got that on camera.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it doesn't cast a shadow.
It's like a light in the red light.
It doesn't cast a shadow, I don't think.
What?
I've seen it. It's a solid figure.
Yeah, it was solid, right?
Frank's, he's like me. I didn't see it.
Oh shit! We caught Arthur.
We caught an Arthur apparition. We caught Arthur Daly. He's caught red-handed. Yeah.
Frank's asking if you can rewind it to where it is. Maybe play.
Oh, hang on. Let's play the real bits.
Yeah.
You've come in a bit late, so let's Here we are. It's hard to see, but look at the door handle. Okay, so when it turns left, look at the door handle. Okay, so look at the door handle. There.
Oh,
bang. Yeah.
Solid.
Oh.
We do some other enhancements as well. I'll show you the stabilized version. And we get rid of the color, so we tone down the color a bit, so it makes it a little bit easier to see. There we are. Weird, isn't it? Yeah. Let me go backwards and forwards on this very small clip. Just on that bit, so backwards and forwards, there it is. But Mark could see more of it, you see, Frank, because his camera was in his left hand, so it would have been closer to the door, so it was obscuring slightly, whereas his head was further to the right, so he was seeing round the door more than his camera was because it was in his left hand. So he could see it was more spherical, he said, and certainly seems to be borne out in something that's semi-spherical, but it seems to change shape. You know, it seems to sort of like it looks to me like as if it sort of changes shape slightly. Yeah. Slow down. But there we are. Shame in many ways that he was live streaming this, because it has reduced the quality quite a bit. And you could have, he had probably had a potentially like a 4K camera, but he was only filming at 720. And then after YouTube got its dirty hands on that, then it probably becomes more like about 480p, So yeah. But there we are.
That
is it.
That's
interesting.
It's rather interesting.
Yeah.
Maybe we should play Mark. What happened here? Or did you see that, Mark? What happened here? What was it? Last Thursday? Not last Thursday, but a week ago Thursday, I think it was. I was doing an afternoon show, and something odd happened here in the studio.
Oh yeah.
That's right. I'm just moving downstairs, guys.
I thought you were asking Mark to play something then, but you're talking about the weird thing that came in the room with you, Steve.
Yeah. There we go. Let me just.
Frank is saying we need to have the original footage so I can upscale it. That's all we've got because he was live streaming from his phone. Yeah, I totally agree. And the thing is, I took it straight from YouTube as a direct copy, and that's it. And I've worked to upscale it. That is upscaled. I have upscaled it. The only other thing you could possibly do would be to get AI upscaling. But the trouble with that is I don't think you've got many pixels to work with. So it's not going to draw something back in that's going to be magical, So
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's definitely something going on, but yeah. Very, very weird. Very weird. Just extremely weird.
Yeah, I was just back from art and I was shooting in 1080p, so obviously I didn't get it.
And in some ways, I was thinking, Mark probably likes it's good to be able to just walk around and live stream like this with your phone, but it would be maybe advantageous to be filming on a higher quality device and then streaming that out. So you're recording on a high quality device, but streaming it out to everyone else in low quality, and then when you get home, then you're going to have something you can really work with,
I mean, I have Hero 10. And there are some settings that you can put it on where it gets low lighting fairly well, but I still find even with the GoPro the quality in
the
low
rubbish
light,
in low light, aren't they?
Yeah, they're not the greatest at night, even in low lighting.
Mark's got the Sony A7S, but it doesn't stream.
However,
okay. If he had that there, it would be a whole different thing because you'd have been like filming in 1080p, really low light, very, very clear, but he would have had to have had a second device that was connected to it doing the streaming, so
see, I've got a retrofitted oh god, I can't even think of full spectrum camera.
Yeah,
and it shoots in 4K. But the thing is, once you go into full spectrum, you can't get the 4K proper. It just doesn't do it properly. It does 1080p, but that's it. It won't in high def. It won't go 4K.
Right.
But the and it doesn't stream, which is too bad. But yeah. Nonetheless, you still. Again, yeah, I agree, Matt. Have something that you can record with separately while doing a live stream, I think, is helpful. But that would have been cool if he had another camera going at the same time on him. That would have captured that to see. It would have been neat to have a different perspective if possible.
Mark needs to get one of these little bob.
That's what I need. I've got no cameras.
They're really good in low light because they flood it with bright light, but they're very low res.
That's what I need, but I need something I can keep recording and look back on.
The only downside with these is there's no stabilization. They wobble all over the place. As
Yeah.
That's
isn't it?
It's hard to get.
DJI is not brilliant in low light, but
no,
you
it
know,
isn't. So I've got a GoPro as well.
Yeah, they
not
all
very
suffer. That's why we have these massive torches, you know, to kind of, you know, you think like, oh, what camera have they got? That camera looks really good. No, they're good, but it's you supplying a lot of light. Yeah.
Someone said that they can change the GoPro for me and put it into a night vision, but I don't want to mess around with it because I paid a lot of money for it, and maybe if I get another GoPro, I might use my old one and get someone to do it. But it's not great.
Yeah, even the GoPro night vision is not very good.
And that's what I thought.
It's not. I wouldn't even bother.
You've got a camera, haven't you? That night
GoPro
vision.
GoPro have yet to produce a camera that can actually film in low light. And how many years have they been out? But you know,
I would definitely buy one.
Proper image intensifier, you know, that sees in starlight. Yeah.
Why don't they just
Matt, what is that now?
That's an image intensifier.
Yeah.
That thing will see in absolutely zero light.
Oh wow! Where did you grab that? If you don't mind me asking.
I had to import it from the United States, and I had to do it on the QT because it's classed as military hardware.
Oh
so
yeah, okay.
Yeah, but that thing is amazing. You don't need any light; it sees by starlight. So you know, and it's like daylight through it. It's great. Awesome. And if I'm sneaking around, sometimes I use that to sneak up to buildings, you know, because it's really good.
You can get night vision cameras, goggles, can't you, as well?
Well, you can get all sorts of fun. I mean, I have some X-ray lenses that I imported, and those things are phenomenal at night.
What, like these that allow you to see titties?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, Claire. Put them away. Jeez, what?
It's only fans for that. No, I ain't got one.
With these on, Claire, I can see off the bottom of the camera, which you're not even showing. Like, geez, bloody hell! I can see everything. I can. Steve is not wearing any trousers. Mark is circumcised. Right, bloody hell, folks.
Oh dear.
Imagine good. They'd be bringing stuff out that can see. Just imagine we'd be walking around like that.
Yeah, but I do think that GoPro is about time they did night vision on these bloody things.
Absolutely,
I don't get it.
Because if you look at the size difference in the Boblov and that, it's not much difference, is there?
No.
To be honest. So
well,
it's
GoPro's that one.
10. GoPro 10.
See, I've got an 8.
I've got the 9.
They've never produced a camera that actually has a big sensor.
No.
They've never produced one. You know, they're always like little sensors that come on mobile phones, and they're just like they're only for daylight use. And the GoPro's philosophy is, well, this is for people doing action sports. It's like, I guess nobody ever does action sports in an evening, then, do they? Right?
Just ghost hunting.
They gotta understand too. I mean, there's a whole different class of folks that use it for different things. You know, wow. Why would you be using it at night, and where are you going with it?
Their philosophy has been, how can we make the camera smaller and smaller and smaller, whilst the battery has got smaller and smaller, and the runtime has got smaller and smaller. So they get hot because they don't have any heat dissipation. Well, people have been saying, I wouldn't mind a bigger GoPro with a bigger battery that lasts for hours and has a bit of metal heat sink on. I wouldn't mind it. Just give it to us. And they're like, no, what you want is smaller, less battery, sir.
I've come off that now.
Yeah.
I do remember some time ago, Matt said about mobile phones to have night vision. I've actually got one. You can see it glowing there. This is the Doogie.
I've got to tidy the whole room up.
And it shoots in night vision.
Not the Doogie.
Bloody hell. Bloody hell.
So the Doogie. Okay. Tell me more
come
about
down here. You go up.
Tell me more about
night vision, basically.
Yeah. But Mark, I'm sorry, I'm not trying to like usurp the fact that it is a very good night vision camera, because it's got no infrared filter on it, and it's got the infrared lights, and it can shoot at night.
Oh wow!
But I went for the one that's got the thermal on it as well, so you can do thermal imaging.
Doogie. Now I'm interested. I'm intrigued.
Yeah, they're basically a rugged phone. It's quite a big battery in it and stuff like that. So it's pretty cool. About 200 odd quid.
So this is massive.
It's an actual phone.
Yeah, it's a smartphone.
Oh, wow.
That's a thermal imager there. I'll turn it on for you now.
And it runs on, obviously runs on Android, obviously.
Yeah. Android 11, I think it is.
Yeah, because any good technology is based on Android, even Apple. Yeah. Yeah. Apple is an Android device. Believe it or not, folks. Yeah.
Doogie, I have to look into that. That's intriguing. You say it's really good infrared. It's got really good. And how's the thermal imaging?
The infrared's amazing, and the thermal imaging is pretty good as well. And you can record in both, which is good. So if I was to turn off all my lights in the room, literally, I'll turn everything off so you can hardly see me. You probably won't. Oh no, you have got enough light off my screen, but I could probably turn that off as well. So it should be fairly dark now. Is it fairly dark? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'll put my night vision camera on now.
Oh my God! He took his clothes off. What?
Yeah. So this is night vision. I can't see what you're seeing, but I can see the infrared lights are on. So.
Oh wow, that is good. I mean, it's blurry, but that's only because of the camera.
Blurry because it's on here, but I've seen it as clear as anything.
Stop breathing so heavy, Matt.
Yeah, and I will put on the thermal as well, so you can see me in thermal, like by my heat. So we'll try that in a second. So it's coming. Here we go. It'll fire up now.
One of these.
It's just there we go. It's blurry because of the camera. But we got
what I
the
don't
idea.
get is why haven't they got that phone in the UK? And
yeah,
it is Claire. Yeah, it is.
So
where?
So if for example you look at my where my wall is there, right? These are all my stickers of different channels, but if I was to put my hand on it for a few seconds and then take my hand away, you can see my hand print is left.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
yeah.
So it shows you residual temperatures as well as So
that is cool.
Yeah, well, that's
my next on the list to save up.
And it's not a bank breaker either, because like that night vision and the thermal all in this phone, which has a 6,000 milliamp battery, is only $300, or like about 280 quid or something.
That's
like that.
it.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
It is good.
Yeah,
it?
and you can use it as a normal phone as well if you want. It's a phone.
So what did you get it just from the website?
eBay.
I got it from AliExpress.
AliExpress. Okay.
So where did you get yours from, Matt? You got yours, Ali. Where did you get your one from?
eBay.
What? They're on eBay as well.
Yeah. There's loads on eBay. Yeah, I think it's like 250 quid. That was.
So yours from the manufacturer.
If you got that one on eBay, the S98 Pro, you're probably paying about 400 quid. But the S98 Pro, which has the thermal, if you get it from AliExpress, if you're lucky and you don't get stung by the customs charges, which I didn't, luckily, it came through, it was about 280 quid.
Wow. So that's about 500 Canadian, which is not bad. It's not too bad for what it costs. Yeah. Wow. Dookie.
And the night vision on it, if you're walking around at night, is very good. It's like it's much sharper than the Boblov, and believe it or not, you can actually zoom in as well, because it's actually got a high resolution sensor. You can actually pinch the screen and you can zoom in on infrared, which is like I've never seen that on anything else.
So could you connect that to the stabler thing, the gimbal?
You can put it on a stabilizer and walk around with it. Yeah, I haven't done it yet, but I've been thinking about it.
I did try it on the. I tried that on the OM5, but it's a little bit heavy, but it does do it. It does do it.
I have to look into saving for that next, then.
Yeah. But I got it for ghost hunts. The thermal was for ghost hunts, and also you can use it to see if there's somebody out there in a forest or something like that, because you'll see the light.
That would be interesting, wouldn't it?
Yeah. It'll show you their light. If they're way off and they're hiding, you'll still spot them because of the thermal,
Heat. Yeah.
It's funny. So I did a search on them. And it's coming up with this. Here, I'll show you. I probably spelt it wrong. That's why.
got dog porn site, did you, or something?
Yeah, no, I got this here. Share screen.
Oh, nice. Yeah. Well, as long as it's cheaper, I'd get it. Well, stocks still last.
Afford that.
Yeah. Get it. Yeah.
Take care, Graham. Thanks for joining us.
Cheers.
I need to order one, Matt, don't I? But I'm saving up to get the computer sorted because of my lives, and everything I've got here is crap at the minute. So I want to get something that works. Like the laptop's playing up now. As soon as I plug a charger in it, it buffers. I'm like, what is going on? And then it's
how do you spell the doogie here? The doogie.
D-double-O-G-double-E.
D-double-O. Oh, I got it here. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Actually, they're not bad at all. So 367 Canadian, and that's let's see. Which is the one that has the thermal?
The S98 Pro.
S98 Pro. Okay, this is the S98, but not the Pro.
What's he doing?
Yeah, the S98 has night vision, but not thermal.
Bella.
Yeah, I think they got a newer vision to the one I've got out there, a newer version of it, but it's basically the same.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Matt's one is just awesome, though.
I'm seeing all sorts of prices, but the cheapest. Wow. Okay, what a difference.
But that's the night vision mode, but you can actually zoom in as well, and it's really good quality. The resolution of the night vision. If I turn my blur mode off, and I also go into focus mode, so you can see up close, I'll show you. It is actually very, very high res night vision. You know, it's not bad. It's a Sony sensor apparently. Yeah. So if I go in close, and I will focus this time, so you can see see it without any artifacts, so you can see really that's quite sharp there. That's sharp. Now if I zoom in on my where is it? It's got an autofocus. There we are. It's autofocused.
Yeah, working.
Yeah. So you can see it zoomed in like really nicely. You can see a lot of detail in the see the stubble.
Yep.
See the stubble. Now that's zoomed in, and you can of course zoom back. So to be able to zoom in on an IR, enabled device is quite good. That's a unique thing.
There's only one downside, though, which I've come across. When you're in night vision, you've got to have it on a stabilization. What I mean is like on a tripod or OM5 or something like that, because it will shake about a bit. But that's the only downside that I've come across.
Yeah, it's definitely needing stabilization, but
for that cost, it's not bad.
Yeah,
I mean the Pro.
Boblov needs stabilization, it's kind of like,
let's see, Amazon. Wow, let's see, hold on.
The best place is AliExpress. That's the cheapest you'll find it.
Yeah, you sent me the link, didn't you, Matt? I've still got it somewhere.
And even though the company who was selling it wasn't called Doogie, when I ordered it, it's actually Doogie, the real behind this the front company, and they actually sent it out, so it's sent out by the manufacturer. So people are saying like, you can't trust AliExpress because it's like all these dodgy people. I was like, well, it's actually the company themselves are sending it to me. So I was quite confident I was going to get it.
Yeah, it's about 7 bills. About 7 bills for roughly with
no,
Pro.
Bella.
Just one other thing about it, the battery on it is absolutely awesome. It just lasts for days.
Yeah,
really.
6,000 milliamp hours. Whereas a lot of phones are like 4,000. This is 6,000. Like the best phones are like 4,000. Most mobile phones are like 3,000. This is 6,000. It's a ruggedized phone as well. It's got like the high-end Gorilla Glass, and it is designed to be smacked around, and it's waterproof. So you can take this infrared camera out, in the rain, and not worry about it.
Yeah, IP68.
Yeah.
Wow.
Awesome.
Definitely looking into that. That's pretty cool. And I mean, the thermal imaging. I mean, you look at a thermal imager, you're looking at thousands of dollars, anyways.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, I mean, sure. Go ahead.
The thermal imager I had, they were about £1,000, and they were 80 pixel by 80 pixel. But if you hacked it, it was actually capable of doing 240 by 180. Now, that was they're £3,800 to have 240 pixels by 180. That's how much a thermal imager costs. This has the same resolution.
Oh wow!
As the highest end FLIR. Right, and beyond that, if you want the next level, 13 grand for like HD. You know, 13 grand.
They're not
really
cheap. That's for sure. Let's play that footage, and I want to get Mark's take on it, because obviously you got yours and Claire's take on it. Let me just load it up here and play with that. You don't need to play
salt tonight.
Oh, let's see. We'll just play without sound. Ways of transferring the sound into an audible sort of frequency.
Yeah.
And a friend of mine had wow, that was cool. Did you see that? Really?
It's funny that it's going over a poster called The Gates of Hell as well.
You didn't see it, did you? Look. Shadow that's going through. You not see it?
It's funny, the music as well. It's like in the future, when humanity has been destroyed, there will be ghosts in front of a poster called Gates of Hell.
Now we're in the future.
Yeah, everyone's black in the future. Yeah.
Fucking the spirit anyway. It's on live to us, yeah. Look. That grey shadow.
I'll be back in a sec, folks.
Yep.
Nice.
Very clearly there.
And I mean, when we reviewed it even more, I mean, it started in front of me, and then shot up there, and then up, and then down, as you see.
Not work tomorrow, are you?
And the heat registry is over there, like the air registry is over there. So I mean, if it was dust,
no, it's not dust.
No, I mean, and I would have saw it. I would have saw it, especially if it started off in front of me.
It's not dust. Definitely not dust. It's like, it looks to me like a side of a face apparition or something going across.
Well, I'm going to
a manifestation sort of trying to show itself.
Yeah.
It's sort of showing itself, and then it sort of walks across. It's really strange. And it's weird because you were on the live too, obviously, me and Matt. I've gone through my footage and I've got a little girl on there saying, "Can you sit on the bed with me?" Wow. No, can you? No, not sit on the bed with me. Can you come and sit next to me? Come and sit next to me. Sit down next to me.
And tell them what you said to Matt about what you thought it might have been.
I thought it was Gareth.
And Claire had no idea that I even knew.
Do you know
that
why?
I knew Gareth.
Right. I turned around to Matt and said, "I'm not being funny." When I started talking to you and you were talking, I said, "I've got Gareth coming in my head," and he said, "Well, that's, you know, really weird because he was doing a lot of lives with you and he was going to go meet you." And I went, "Oh my God." As soon as I heard, I was just thinking of him. I don't know, his energy.
Well,
I've never known you. I've never seen I didn't even see your face on live. I didn't know who you were. I didn't know nothing about you.
Mm-hmm.
And I said to Matt in the room, I said about it. And I kept saying it and kept bugging me. And then you came back with that. And I was like, well, that is really strange. Because I thought to myself, is he trying to show himself to you? Because he was your friend. And you said to me the other day, didn't you, that he always said that he'd come back.
He always said that. He said, "You know what? I die, I'm coming back to haunt you guys." But a lot of people are seemingly talking about my haunted box, if you will, right down here, right down there, right down there. My old army box that I picked up a while ago, and it's not the first thing that I've had happen here before, but
my haunted box only gets to see ghosts and skeletons these days, mate. Yeah.
Yeah, Frank. I was actually going to. I'm going to Vegas actually next week, and I was actually part of this time was we were supposed to meet up. I was supposed to meet Gareth finally next week, but unfortunately that obviously not happening. But I figured, Matt, I would go out to Area 51 in tribute. So, because I know we were talking about doing that. So,
Matt, how is Angel now?
I'm with you.
As you can see.
Sorry about this. We're discussing my dog is sat here sulking because I haven't took her out. And Lowell is sat next to me. Mr. Ox is fine. He said, "Well, I'll take her around the block." And I said, "Well, if you wait half hour or so, I'll come out for a walk because I'll go around and walk any time at night. Me, it's quite safe around here." She's so
So how's Angel overall? Doing good?
Amazing, mate. Yeah.
Good. Glad to hear that.
That's good.
Take her.
Sorry, I just couldn't resist a bit of crackers and cheese.
Oh, don't. Do you have to say that? I can't eat. Actually, I've got a sausage out there.
I was going to say, are we going to try any sort of experimentation tonight? Because there was a debate on this, whether or not there was going to be anything happening.
Let me see. Hold on. I've got it loaded up here. Hold on.
I'm just going to take a quick break a minute. I've got a nature call.
Absolutely, yeah. That's what I was doing.
I've got a dog that's going out.
Okay, back in a minute.
Bella,
look.
Bella. Hello, Bella.
Naughty Bella.
Bella.
How are you?
Bella.
Are you going out? Anyone ever seen a dog like this? She's a cross between a Chihuahua, a Whippet, and a Staffy, and you will never find another one like her. A rare dog.
Okay.
Backthink. Angel's little friend.
She's a Chihuahua staff.
Angel would eat her.
I've never used this guy, so let me just see.
Angel will eat you alive. Yes, she will. She will eat you alive. I'll look at her looking at you. Ooh, that's weird.
I don't think she's looking at me. She's looking at my cheese.
Did you just hear that?
Yeah.
Did you hear a big bang in my room?
Yeah.
Well, I'm not going to lie to you. There's no one in here. And it's come from in that cupboard. And in that cupboard is all my paranormal gear.
Ooh.
And the door's shut and no one's been in there.
I heard it quite loudly.
Back in the room.
No, we don't want any drunk spirits. No drunks.
You need to, Matt. When I did this, it said sit down next to Matthew. What frequency thing you got it on? You have to have it on just the middle one, quite near the end.
With the reverb pulse or noise gate?
The second, not the. I think it's the one, not the top one. The next one down.
Okay.
I have it to the right, just down a little bit from the right.
Sounds to me like you're saying, "Hey, buddy, got any spare change?"
Wait for it when it says your name's enough, though, because Matt, I did it, and you said it's talking crap. Oh, something's touching me now. Oh my God, I've been freaking out all day. I know this sounds crazy. Everyone's going to think I'm weird.
It stopped now.
I've been getting blooming touched all day.
What app is that?
Some people pay money for that, Claire.
The Hope Spiritbox app.
Oh, right. Yeah.
I've been irritated all day. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm sensitive to spirit. Yeah. Today, I've been really getting touched a lot. And normally when that happens, it means something in my family is not good. And there is something going on at the minute. And I'm very worried. I think I've said to you, Matt. But I'm worried now because they've been around me all day. And people are going to think you're a freak. No, it's something I've had from a child. And it's when people got spiritual gifts, if any of you have out there, you'll understand. But yeah, and now I've just had a massive bang go in my cupboard, so it's freaking me out a little bit because no one has been in that cupboard. Lowell hasn't been in there. I haven't been in there. I've come and sat here and it just went bang. I don't even want to go and look in there and see what it was because all my spirit balls are in there, all my paranormal equipment.
Maybe it wants to be let out. Maybe it wants you to experiment. So let me out, Claire. Bring me out.
Do you think it's a spirit that's attached itself to you?
To me or no?
I've always since been very little in and out and been a bit weird and wonderful. Couldn't like get on at school because I was weird and wonderful. I was more interested in watching people and tuning, and it just took over my bloody life. But I've learned as I got older that to control it more on ground, and I learned more things as I got older. But I don't really go out there and practice what I could do. I could do a lot more with my gift, but because I'm a bit ADHD, I'm very quick and I can't channel, so I use my senses more than anything.
Sounds backwards, isn't it?
See, when I do it, I swipe up and then back down very quickly. It gives it a break, swipe up. So that's the top one. So you go up, then straight back down, and then it gives it a chance to. Yeah, you've got to go right to the bottom. I had it the other day, Matt, in that house, and it said sit next to Matthew. And it said it after I heard a girl's voice.
Good advice. Yeah.
Then the girl said sit down, and it also said something else.
Go out.
Yeah.
Just see 'em in the
The
cupboard.
cheese is gone. The dog is no more.
But there's nothing fallen.
Mm.
That is so strange. So I'm looking in my cupboard. So there was a massive bang in here.
Was that?
And there's nothing even fell down or nothing. Look. Can you see anything?
Mm. Well, we're not looking. We can't
No,
see.
I'm on about low. You don't want to look in this cupboard. It's an absolute mess. That. No, you don't want to look in that cupboard. It's like my junk cupboard.
Oh, pardon me.
I don't know.
You have to know how to work it. So if you watch
Yeah.
this program, it's a certain way, and I've had some really good stuff. But of course, you have to sit and wait and be patient, like you do with anything. But you've got to get the hang of it, and it is hard to sort of get the gist of. But it's like people use necrophonic, and sometimes you get stuff on there, sometimes it's a load of rubbish. But it depends.
Yeah, I'm
You've
skeptical.
got to listen, like the
Yeah,
radios.
I'll always have been with Ghost Box and all.
I'm with
Spirit
radios. That's
Yeah.
my bit. I like the spirit boxes. I like the normal spirit box you swipe through, and you sit and be boring and listen, and you'll be very amazed. I think that you get a lot of communication through them more than anything.
I do use the necrophonic, but we've had a few things through it, but
Yeah.
I just don't know. I don't know
You're
what way to take it.
You're a bit on the fence with it, aren't you? And
Yeah,
some
yeah.
of these are, but then the other day when it said a little girl in that house, Matthew said, "Come and sit next to me," and then it said on there, "Sit next to Matthew," and I'm like, "Well, how has a girl's voice come through?" And then it tells me to go and sit next to Matthew. You haven't probably seen it. I don't know if I sent it. I did probably send it you, but I know you're like me, busy and.
Here you go. Here's one for you, Mark. I'll play the other two have seen this, and I'll play this for you. And actually, somebody in chat was asking me to play it backwards. I'll play it backwards after we show the clip. Just let me load it up here.
But yeah, I definitely heard that large bang going on in your room.
Oh, there's nothing in there. I'm not gonna lie. I've been weird all day, but I didn't want to say obviously to you on here, but I have, because people just think it's weird. But you know, I have things happen to me when things have happened in my family, and weird stuff happen, and I'm getting a bit worried because today it's been quite full on. But like you said, I do have to watch out for attachments. I do have to clean and watch out, which is part of it all.
All right, we'll play this for get Mark's thoughts.
Right at the end, it said hello.
So you got the hello,
and of course, there's a girl's voice there as well.
Yeah, does it sound like singing or reciting a nursery rhyme or something?
Yeah.
Okay, so somebody was asking me to play it.
Yeah, it's
Matt,
creepy. That was.
Yeah, Matt was asking me to play it backwards. Hold on, I gotta load it up backwards. Just gonna load it up here. Okay. Find it.
Yeah, if I hear any more bangs, I know something's going on. It's when my partner starts running around the house getting scared. He's done it before.
Where are we? Oh, I think I have an audio over here.
Maybe they're trying to get my attention to come on there and do something.
Maybe we should try ChatGPT at some point and say to try and get it to say like random things, ask a question, and then say like respond to us, and see whether or not it suddenly starts to respond, because it can't hear you because it's not connected to your microphone. You're just asking questions via text. But I wonder whether it could get influenced, because there's been some research done into quantum computers and quantum things, where people have been trying to influence random number generators and quantum computers.
Wow.
So that and statistically, it's been shown that when people are trying to will the random number generators, that it becomes like those numbers. It sort of gravitates towards that. So, you know, again, you don't hear a lot about it. Scientists don't talk about it a lot, but there was like a university in, I think it was Australia, was doing this sort of stuff, where they said, like, we want people to focus on this random number generator and try and influence it. And it was. But then, you know, like, there's no paranormal, folks, because science has never found any evidence. No,
What
there's
if we-
nothing paranormal.
That's the whole point. Science hasn't
What
been
if we
able to.
ask-
That's the whole point of it.
If you had Steve behind you to try and show itself again, if we're all on here now,
Will it?
well, would it? You don't know, do you?
No.
But
Okay.
is it someone? I don't know. Weird.
Here's the audio backwards. Here we go.
That sounds horrible like that.
Sounds very demonic.
No, it don't. It don't sound right.
What I picked up was it's here. It's here.
Interesting.
When it's played backwards, something about On My Own.
I wonder if there's a filter that can get rid of that jangling that, you know, you get on MP3 type recordings, like digital audio recordings have that sort of like chilling, 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 chilling. I wonder if you could kind of, you know, there's reverb removers.
Yeah.
And I know that clip sounds like she's actually got reverb in her, because it's like you can hear room reverb
It's weird.
on her.
Isn't it?
Yeah, so you could probably isolate the reverb. So MP3 jangle
Let
remover.
me see. I think I had removed the reverb. Hold on. Let me just have it. No. Okay, hold on. I don't know if this is it. I don't know if this is the one or not.
There's actually a man's voice in the background as well.
I don't know. Yeah, I heard the man's voice, but was that one of you lot talking?
That's downstairs. Yeah, that's downstairs. The only thing that you hear is the voice, the girl right there with the camera guy. So the camera guy captured this on his footage.
That's always the way. See, we never hear it, do we?
No.
But then I have heard a few things because I do get some hearings sometimes come in, and I've actually heard them talk and shouted at my partner, "Can you shut up? I'm listening to them talking." He's like, "We can't hear nothing. You're crazy. Go back, listen on the recording. I hear them actually talking and me saying I could hear them." So that's freaked me out because I've done it quite a lot lately.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
and it is weird because psychic hearing is a very strange thing, and I had it quite a few years ago, and it went away for a bit, and then it came back because obviously when you're stressed or you're not ready, they take gifts off you and give it back to you, and hearing is quite a really weird thing to have, psychic gift. And it freaked me out many years ago, and that was around 2000, the year 2000. I was going for a lot, and it freaked the crap out of me when it happened, because obviously people say, "Oh, you're mental, you've got schizophrenia, something's wrong with you, go and see a doctor." And
you get all that.
No, it's not. It's learning to deal with it again and shut it off and open it up and use it when you need to. And I think as I've got older and calmer, I've got used to when I'm like out, if I'm in the right mood, it opens up and it shut. But if I've got people if I'm not focused right, it won't happen. So I've learned that by watching videos and seeing, well, I was in that mood that day and it happened. So yeah, sometimes listening and being quiet, Matt does a lot of that. You can get a lot more, can't you? You get a lot more out of it, but it's hard to do that when you're exploring.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Yeah, I've noticed myself when I'm doing paranormal, I've learnt it through Mark and Hayden, that is not to shout, just to speak calmly.
Just talk, yeah.
Yeah.
I find
I was shouting. I was going, come here.
Well, I've learned the opposite to you, because when I spoke to Spirit, and I must admit, hundreds of them on board, so I've done them for like 10 years, they were telling me that sometimes they can't hear your voice, they drift away. But if you call out and call up, they can come back to all. And I learned this from spirits on the spirit board, talking to me, telling me what happens. So I do sometimes, I build energy with my voice and it picks the energy up. But people work differently. People work quiet. I work a bit louder because the spirits, and have told me that they prefer that, and that it works better for me, and I get better, obviously, stuff. And it's always worked, and it can take 20 minutes sometimes, or it can take 5 minutes. It depends. It can take 45 minutes.
Melissa,
there is a professional tool that can clean up those nasty jangly bits in those samples. It's called Unchirp.
Unchirp. I've heard of that. Yeah, I've heard of that.
And if you can send me the originals, I will make sure I get a copy of it from somewhere.
What of this?
Via Sweden. Yeah, if you can send me that girl, you know, where she's sort of no and all that. Yeah, if you send me those clips as raw as you've got them, as raw as you can.
Yep. I'll play it again. Melissa wants to hear it again. I'll play it again.
And I will see if I can. I'll see. Actually, I'll check now. Can I get Unchirp? Unchirp. Dinkum, check out Unchirp, mate. I can't find it on my normal resources. See if you can get it.
Unchirped.
It's very interesting when you pick up stuff like that. I think it is amazing. That's why I think I carry on doing paranormal, because there's something out there. We can't figure out quite what it is. We can't be 100%. And it's like you're constantly just trying to build more and more of a picture of things, and build more of it, and get it a little bit from somewhere else and a little bit from here. I've done that, obviously, for a long time. And I still are trying to work it out. And that's why I think people that do paranormal carry it on, because it's quite, you know, you get intrigued with what you get. And spirit boards to this day, people say, oh, it's fake, you're pushing it. I've had so much stuff through on them, and evidence and names and dates to go and look back on and research. And in buildings, been given stuff, and abandoned, gone and researched and found stuff out. And I'm like, wow, you know.
I've gotten a lot of that just from audio in some places.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It is amazing. It's hard, isn't it, to work out? Like, you're always at your head's going, constantly trying to work out what things are. And we're probably only going to know when we go over ourselves.
Well, yeah, I mean,
then that's what it's frightening. I get frightened of things like that, and people say, don't be scared of that sort of stuff, but I am, because, you know,
well, nobody wants.
Is there something better? Is there something better there, or isn't there something there? Is it just us being complete? I don't know. Is it science?
Just think of yourself without the physical part.
Chirp is available for a 30-day free trial. So,
Chirp,
yeah,
Chirp. I thought you said Unchirp.
Unchirp, sorry, yeah, Unchirp.
But I do think, though, by hearing voices like that, catching evidence like that, it makes you want to go more and more and look into stuff. So that is a good catch there.
Oh yeah, and the funny thing about that is I discovered it nearly 10 years later after shooting the footage, because I was going to put a short documentary together for the facility. And then I was reviewing all the footage I had, because I have crap loads of footage. And I'm just watching this, and I'm like, oh, this is interesting. The first walkthrough. Wait, what was that?
And it's crazy, isn't it?
It's crazy because it was right there with the oil painting of the little girl in Purity Piece. You know, it's just so odd that would happen just right there and then.
And you didn't find it till later, where that's why I go through all my footage.
I go through all my footage too, but I did not. The first time I did not capture that. I did not catch that. It's weird.
It's weird. Maybe you weren't meant to.
Maybe it was maybe it's aging.
Maybe you weren't meant to know about it yet. They didn't want you to know.
Well, maybe. Very weird.
No, very good bit of evidence there, I think.
Yeah.
Be nice to know if you could find out more. It's, you know.
Yeah, like I said, I've been working with the curator of the facility on the background research. I mean, most of it's known, but the stuff that we've captured there, isn't, some of it is jiving with the history of the place, and a lot of it's not. So I mean, is there some unseen history there before the house was built? Could possibly be. I don't know. It's just really weird. You're guaranteed to go into this place at any given time and have something weird happen. And you know what? It most of the time is very subtle, but it doesn't matter. The more subtle it is, the more eerie it is.
And another thing I've had with investigating is I've had spirits come through and they've told me on the board they're not from there, and I'm like, well, where are you from?
Yeah.
And then they sort of go, well, I can't get, sometimes I get answers out of them and they say that they were here. Like the other day in Nottingham, I had a child come through, stayed with me all night. Actually, I've got the video going up soon, and he told me that before that building was there in a town in Nottingham, it was filled and there was a farm, and he died in a hay fire. But he was just there in that area with his family. It was really weird, but he had nothing. No, he said he was nothing to do with that building. It was the land. He had no attachment. But the thing is, the place where he was haunting was visited most day by children because it's a museum. It's a Robin Hood museum. So obviously he was drawn to the energy of them children, what probably brought him in. And I even asked him questions to the point like, does your mum and dad not mind you talking? And he sort of said they don't know. He does it in secret. And I thought, well, how is he hiding this? They're all ghosts. But I don't know. This is what I mean. He stayed all night. He spoke to all of us in the team. And I'm quite, shocked that how he'd done this. And he said his parents don't know.
Well, I think for sure we should do a when I get back from Vegas, I would really like to do a full on Hope Box. But I want to do that too, Matt, that AI thing, the chat, what is it? Chat
GPT.
That sounds intriguing. It's something that maybe you can sort of utilize and trying to not so much explain it, but maybe give it the stuff a different perspective. That'd be cool.
It would be interesting, wouldn't it? It's different as well.
Yeah.
Not the same.
Yeah, I mean, we've done live on location spirit board sessions before, and they haven't been very successful. But I think this we can give this a shot. Once I understand it a little bit more. I've never used this app before, but I'll watch the videos and get a better gist for it and everything else. I just find it odd that you can subscribe and give him money and you can get a full version of it.
I don't get the full version. I've got a thingy, and I've been working with it, but you've got to work. That's what I mean. Certain things practice, and I've been getting some good stuff. Not all the time. It just comes out in bits. Same as Netphonics, and same as some other apps. Same as everything. They're not all 100%. If it's.
I had an old Radio Shack hack when the ghost boxes first came out, and then it was called the Radio Shack hack. And we're talking like 2000, somewhere around there. And I remember I brought this thing into an investigation and put it on, started, asking questions, had the recorder going, all sorts of stuff. And within like literally seconds, it started talking. You started hearing stuff come through the frequency, the waves. And then all of a sudden you just hear this, right? Okay, that was weird. And then all of a sudden, complete silence. Okay, so I picked up the box. The power was off, and I opened it up, and the batteries were fried.
How did that happen? That is so scary. That is.
So talk about weird. I mean, it just did it overheat because this was just a hack back then. But like I said, the weirdest things always happen in those moments.
It's always when you're not expecting it, like that day you had the thing.
Exactly.
It is strange.
Can I ask a question about when you start a investigation? Do you do protection? Because I always try to.
Sort of.
I don't, and simply because the reason why I don't, Mark, is because my perspective of the paranormal is, I think, a little bit outside the box than most. Most people will go into these situations thinking disembodied spirits, demonic, and all that kind of stuff. And there's nothing wrong with that. Don't get me wrong. But my perspective is, over the years, this is a gradual thing. In the beginning, that was kind of incorporated, but it wasn't like a major thing. We wouldn't go into this investigation and, okay, we have to protect ourselves. And I know a lot of people believe that, and that's fine. If you believe that, then rightfully so, go ahead and do that. But over the years, I've geared it now where I'm thinking, okay, are we dealing with a whole different plane of existence, period? Right? Are we actually, are we actually alive? Are we actually perceiving properly what we're making contact with or experiencing? Are they actually the people who are in a real existence trying to make contact with us? You have to take all these different perspectives into mind, into understanding this, because let's face it, this is the great unknown.
Of course it is. That's why we do it.
And for years, people who have been investigating the paranormal have always used the same sort of methods, with kind of bringing all these fancy tools in and so on and so on. They're great. I love them. And you have to use whatever you can. But the frame of mind has always been, especially here in the Western world, and again in many parts of Europe, the religious sort of undertones that have like engulfed the way people proceed and perceive the paranormal as a whole. And I really think you have to think outside that. And I'm not saying you have to, shun your religion or anything like that. No, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, set it aside, put it at the door when you walk in, and try thinking from a different point of view. Right? Because look at all this stuff is being thrown at us, and we can't make heads or tails of it.
No, we can't.
Because we have those filters in our head to think, okay, but look at this stuff that's being thrown at us. There's no fucking encyclopedia for it.
Definitely not. No.
We're writing it as we're going. And we have to take that sort of perspective into this. That's my belief. And when we go into an investigation, anything's possible.
See, I don't do protection, but if I've got other people with me and feel safer, because I do my own protection is basically, they say that if you go into an investigation, don't be scared. or don't be feared, because it will bring out things that aren't there, make you think things. But I do get scared, and my husband, who just walked in the door, he sometimes starts panicking me, and then I get really high rated. But I don't normally, do protection. I just believe in me, and I'm protecting me, and that's it.
Let's face it, there's only one documented point in history where a ghost has been legally found guilty of killing a human being, and that's John Bell of the Bell Witch scenario.
I do believe spirits can be horrible though, and quite aggressive, because I've come
absolutely
very aggressive, very strong and powerful as five men.
But we have to throw it out there too, that is a rare occurrence. It's rare. It is very rare. I mean, I've investigated well over 400 locations or whatever, and
it is rare. You're right.
And I've had so many people tell me, "Oh, I've got this demonic infestation. I've got something demonic living in my home or whatever." And not once has it ever turned out to be malevolent the way they're talking. It's always been very explainable. And don't get me wrong, it doesn't mean that everything's that way. It's not. There is something going on, very, very much so.
I do. Alongside what I do now, I do house clearings for people, but I don't talk much about it on here. But I've done a few different things. Some are explainable, some aren't. Some are silly little things, and I get that totally.
I had an elderly couple contact me. They had a husband and wife team into their home because they had some unusual happenings in their house, and they wanted it explained. They were naive. They had no idea, other that they were frightened for something they couldn't explain what was going on. So this husband and wife team went in there. They did their assessment of the house, and they flatly told the couple that your house has a demonic infestation. Okay, fine. What do you need to do? What's the next steps? What do we need to do? You need to have your house cleansed. Okay. Well, then go ahead. By all means, do it. $8,000 later.
No.
$8,000 it cost them. $8,000. Right. So they did their spiel. They cleansed the house, blah, blah, blah. And they told the people, you shouldn't have any more problems after this. Well, the people were having the same problem over and over and over again. They kept trying to get in contact with this couple. This couple kept ignoring them, saying that, sorry, there's no receipt, sir. You paid for our services and we carried them out.
Terrible.
So finally, the couple got pissed off, got a lawyer involved, and took them to court. Right? And the couple was held liable and had to pay the money back. So when they contacted us, we went in, did an assessment of the house. And you know what it turned out to be the problem? One of their water pipes wasn't fastened to the wall, and it was rattling uncontrollably, making a really, really weird noise with the different pressures running through the pipe.
Flipping out.
It was flipping out, and it was banging and everything else. And they're like, "Oh my God, we got a ghost in here," and that's all it was. Soon as they had that fixed, they never had any problems.
See, charging people money as well.
It's ridiculous.
I've never done it, and I won't, because I believe I was given my gift and my thing to help people, and I don't believe in taking money for it. And I've gone places and they've tried to throw money, and I've said no, I don't want nothing for it.
Well, don't you guys have a law over there that if you're like a medium or psychic or anything like that, if you have to have some sort of license or entertainment license or some shit like that?
There's nothing. There's a lot of people over here that are fake and get a lot of money out of people. But as I say, when I go to houses, I always say to them, I'll come and have a look, but I'm telling you now, I can't always stop things from happening. Things that are paranormal, some people you can't move spirits on. They don't want to go. They're not just going to go. And then when they get angry, that's when they're like, the family say, oh, they're demonic. And then if they get angry with the medium or someone that's gone in there, oh, they're demonic. It's not that. They're upset. They're trying to get messages through. They're frustrated. They're upset. They went when they didn't want to go. There are things like that. And I find a lot of people go out there and say what you said. Oh, it's demonic. It's get money. It's wrong. It's wrong. I always go in and say, look, I make them very clear that whatever's happening here, if I find something, doesn't mean I can move it on. We can make deals. We can see what's going on in the family. We can find out what's going on, and that's what you've got to do. Like you said, it could be something in the house. It could be just themselves and negative energy causing things to that's like poltergeist activity. That's apparently us and Matt, you'll know all about that stuff, like the mind again that move. It's all that sort of stuff.
Here you go. I found the data about, this is Princeton University, right? This is a proper sort of scientific experiment they did between August 1998 and December 2015, when people were trying to influence random number generators, right? Wow. And the dotted line here is what they expected from a random number generator. But when people were trying to influence it, look how...
Wow. That's crazy. Yeah, it's
this is what they were getting versus what they were expecting to get.
That's amazing.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah. So,
food.
Yeah.
Want some more food?
That's
right, the dog's back.
There we are. So, just goes to show the power of the mind is beyond the physical body.
And that's the same with when I've gone into houses and they've said this is moved and that's moved, but they're upset, and I'm like, but when people are negative and there's been a lot of negativity in the house, it builds energy, and energy in it, like it all interlinks. So sometimes it's not a ghost, it's you. There's loads of explanations. I always try and go in like open-minded.
There's a classic experiment, the Philip experiment, right there, where they created a ghost through an experiment.
Yeah.
You look into that and you go, wow. They literally made up everything about this person.
Mm-hmm.
And
what was the name of the ghost they created? I can't remember.
Philip.
That's right.
Yeah,
the Philip.
It's called the Philip experiment.
Yeah.
And it literally came true. And this is all mindset.
What do you reckon about stone tape theory?
Again, there's another classic. Another classic experiment. I think a lot of it has to do, like as Claire was saying, it has to do with the mind. The mind is so powerful, and a lot more powerful. The power of suggestion, perception. I mean, these are things that can be easily altered. Easily altered. So easy. I mean, you look at mentalists, you look at illusionists.
Definitely,
and you look how they're able to warp your sense of thinking. You're wait a sec, what? And it's something so simple, but it doesn't matter. It works. And this is the same thing when you're sitting in a dark room, and you're talking amongst each other, and you're expecting. You have that sort of expectation that something's going to happen. And 9 out of 10 times, even if it's so subtle, something will happen. Yeah. So are you willing it to happen? It's a great question. I mean, that's something that's very plausible.
Yeah, there's, I say, a lot of people over here in the UK that are probably doing, I don't know who, but going to houses probably do charge money, but I don't really hear of it. But you never know, do you? Because, like you said, they can make them think it's real.
Sab, I'm not saying that happens all the time, but like I said, you look at the Philip experiment right there. I mean, there's a prime example of it happening. So I mean, that was a controlled experiment.
Whereabouts is that? Is it on YouTube?
You can find stuff on YouTube and all sorts of stuff. It happened at, I believe, the University of Toronto. They did it, a controlled experiment.
See, what I'm trying to work out as well, Matt, the other day in that prison, in that voice after me and Lowell, clear as anything, in an accent, how I can't work out if that's a residual energy, a record, like you said to Stone, take a recording of a playback. But it was really weird because it just so clearly said, "Oh, I'll see you around," or something like that. And I'm like, it's always a time, like you said, when you're not expecting it. We weren't even paying attention. The camera was whizzing about in my hand. And yeah, that is weird. But
yeah,
that was what I would say, something that's blown my mind a little bit. Like, where did it come from? You heard it, did you hear it, Lowell, in the recording? Yeah. What do you think about it then? You don't know. You don't know. I'm the one that sits there all night thinking, well, who was it? Who's that with an accent? Has a spirit followed me from Liverpool? Matt, what accent is that?
Well, I definitely would like to run that experiment. I would like to do that. I think just dedicate a whole show to that for sure. And
that'd be very interesting.
If you guys are wanting to come back on and do it, got the lottery numbers. Yeah, we'll take them to the bank and, hey guys, give me your address.
That would be good.
Okay, I'm going to call that for the night.
Okay,
guys, thank you for coming on. Mark, it was great to have you. Fresh perspective.
You're welcome.
And don't be a stranger. Would love to have you back on, man.
Yeah, no worries.
All right, guys, have a good evening.
Thank you very much.
Yeah,
all the best then, folks. Yeah,
take care, everybody in chat. Have a good night.
Bye.
Keep believing.
Bye.
Yeah. Bye bye.